finished a meeting with a client now who is busy in quite a complex salary negotiation with an international client, and lots of questions from other clients, prospective clients, and clients that we are working with, asking me about international salaries and how to negotiate, when it comes to offers and these types of salaries. And obviously, it's a whole new ball game for a lot of people. And when they get an offer or there's a potential offer coming up, then there's an uncertainty with regards to what to do. Okay, so I generally have a very, very simple coaching recommendation, which I like to provide to C-suite all the way down to trainees. It's really, to me, it's from a coaching point of view, it's pretty simple, and that is the objective of any form of job search and interviews is to get the offer. You want the offer to consider whether you want to go work for that company. Remember, you being grilled, and you don't have to go work there. So it's very much a case of you need the offer to actually move through that offer and understand what they're offering as a package, and does it align with your requirements, etc., etc. So that's the objective. So my first major advice to any candidate that's in a discussion with an international recruiter is do not put yourself out of the negotiation up front. And I see so many people make this mistake. They start the interview and they say, oh, I don't want a role that is at that salary, so thank you very much. Or I will not consider. A lot of people use the word not in their interviews. I really don't like it. I will not consider a salary at that level. Instead of saying, well, I'm negotiable and I'd like to get a better understanding of the offer and of the company, and therefore I'd like to move through the interview process. Obviously, there's exceptions to that rule, which I'm not going to go through today. But if upfront the recruiters put a stipulation and they say, listen, the salary is X, and that's it, then I don't think I should be wasting my time. And then just be honest and say, I'm sorry, you know what? Thank you, but I would prefer not to continue because that salary is way too low. Okay, but number one, objective, get the offer. Right, when the offer arrives, you need to understand the whole offer. Now, often with international companies, they give you the offer, and there's all sorts of things they don't mention. Relocation, housing, bonuses, laptops, transport, and in my experience, the international offers have a lot of hidden total cost to person and additional benefits that are not in the offer that will make a massive difference at the end of the day to your back pocket. Okay, so you must make sure when you get the offer, ask the person that's offered you, the HR manager, line manager, please can you send me all the additional benefits that are included, and I'll send that to you additionally. The next thing is I really always recommend having a meeting with the person that's offered you. Have a meeting with your questions. Don't send them a mail. Arrange a meeting. Say, listen, I'd like to have a quick 15-minute meeting just to discuss some questions. One of the biggest reasons for that is you get to actually meet the person that's going to be employing you again. And that's so important because you want to get to know them. You want to see them. You want to talk to them. There's a trust thing. You want to look them in the eyes and see that these are the guys that you want to go work for. So put your questions together. Ask them for that meeting. Send the questions before the meeting. So in other words, put them into an email. Send them before the meeting, and then you've got a nice agenda to work with through that meeting with those questions. Okay. Then go through those questions. Now, if you're not happy with the offer, it's very straightforward. In the meeting, you can say to them, thank you very much. My idea was I was looking for a gross salary of X. And I think internationally, it's much easier to work with a gross salary rather than a net. South Africa, I recommend the other way around, but internationally, just to make things a little bit easier, it's better to actually negotiate on the basis of the gross. So you can say to them, I was looking a little bit more for X, which is 5-10%. If the figure is massively different, that's a different discussion. I'm not going to go into that today. But for a simple negotiation, There's nothing wrong with asking for 5 or 10% more, but be really careful to make sure that you're not pushing that client. And number two, that actually the content of the offer is really good overall. And at the end of the day, it's you winning all the way. Okay. There's one really important thing that I just want to leave with you, which I think is very important. You're going to a new country. When you arrive, your chances of finding work again there, especially in countries like the Netherlands, for instance, is high. If you're on a sponsorship visa, etc. So therefore, it's your first job. Get there, get working, and honestly, you're going to fly. It's really so. To lose an offer on a 5 or 10% negotiation on a gross, is it worth it? Ask yourself that question. Because for me, many times it's just not. You're not negotiating in offer here in South Africa. It's a different thing. You're going to a different country. They don't know you. They don't know sometimes they don't know what your capabilities are because they haven't had South Africans in their business before. Okay, very, very important, that fact. So just remember, think about it. Sometimes it's a little bit of a short-term loss for a long-term gain, and that's really very beneficial. But either way, honestly, we don't struggle with when it comes to international companies, especially in the Netherlands and the UK. We seldom get into massive salary negotiations. It's not like here in South Africa where everybody's trying to just undercut you, when it comes to your move. Good luck, and again, remember, go to your interviews, do your research, make sure that you're managing your process right. It's all great experience, and if you get those regrets, don't worry. And from a salary point of view, be mindful. Remember, new country, you're going to be there and you're going to have lots of opportunity to make tons of cash and lots of money and grow your career. Good luck.